We're diving into something that sounds almost too good to be true: a penny. Not just any penny, though. This one's got a story that could make your jaw drop and your wallet a whole lot happier. We're talking about the 2060 mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's reportedly worth over $1 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny that could make you a millionaire. So, grab your magnifying glass and a cup of coffee, because this story is about to get wild, exciting, and yes, maybe even a little bit funny. Stick around to the end, because I've got a personal story to share about how I almost threw away a coin worth serious cash. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. First off, let's talk basics. The 2060 penny. What exactly makes this little copper coin so special? Because honestly, pennies usually don't get a lot of love. We toss them in jars, let them pile up in couches, or just ignore them completely. But this penny? It's basically the rock star of the Lincoln cent world. The D Mint mark means it was made at the Denver Mint, one of the main U.S. coin-producing facilities. Normally, a 2006 Denver penny is worth, well, basically 1 cent. So how does it jump all the way up to $1 million? That's where things get interesting. You see, this penny is part of a rare error series. What kind of error? It could be something like a double die error, where the design was stamped twice by mistake, causing a sort of shadow effect on Lincoln's profile or the date. Or maybe it's a misstrike, a coin that didn't quite get the perfect press it was supposed to have. These kinds of errors are like unicorns in the coin world, rare and highly prized by collectors. And when one of these errors happens to be a Lincoln penny from 2006 with the Denver Mint mark, well, it can skyrocket in value. That sounds like one of those crazy stories you hear from your friend's uncle who's in the coin business, but probably isn't. But here's the thing, these rare error pennies have sold for insane amounts in auctions and private sales. And the 2060 penny with the right error? It's one of those coins that collectors dream about finding in their pocket change. But wait, before you go digging through your couch cushions or your old piggy bank, here's the catch: these coins are extremely rare. And authenticating them requires experts, magnifying glasses, and sometimes even microscopes. So if you think you found one, don't rush to the pawn shop just yet. Take it to a certified coin grader or a professional numismatist who can verify if you really have $1 million penny or just an ordinary one. Okay, quick funny story here. Back when I was a kid, I found an old penny in my grandpa's drawer. It looked a little different, had a weird scratch or maybe a double line, I wasn't sure. I thought, hey, maybe this is valuable. So I showed it to my parents, who just laughed and said, "That's a penny, why would it be worth anything?" I shelved it for years until I got into coin collecting myself as an adult. Turns out, it was a pretty rare variety, but not quite $1 million one. Still, that little penny sparked my love for coin hunting. So never underestimate the power of a single coin. Let's break down what makes the 2060 penny's errors so valuable. Most of the valuable pennies have these key features: errors in the mint mark, doubling of the date, misplaced or missing details, and sometimes even weird metal compositions. Sometimes, the coins have a thin metal layer or a planchet flaw, which basically means the blank metal disc they start with is off in some way. In the case of the 2060 penny, one known high-value error is the double die obverse. This means the front side, where Lincoln's face is, has a doubled image that's clearly visible. Collectors call this DDO, for short. Another rare error is the missing mint mark. If a 2006 penny that should have a D mark is missing it, it could be worth thousands or even millions if in perfect condition. And condition is king here. A coin in mint state, meaning it looks flawless as if it just came off the press, is worth a lot more than one that's all scratched up and worn out from years in your pocket. The grading system ranges from poor to mint state 70. The higher the number, the more valuable the coin. So imagine finding a 2060 penny with a rare double die error, in mint state condition, and suddenly you're looking at a coin that could fetch over $1 million at auction. Crazy, right? Now, I don't want you thinking every penny you find is suddenly worth a fortune. It takes knowledge, research, and sometimes a bit of luck. That's why channels like this exist. to help you spot the gems hiding in plain sight and avoid the duds. Another cool thing about these rare pennies is how they connect us to history. Lincoln has been on the penny since 1909, over a century of American history stamped into these tiny copper coins. Each penny tells a story, and when you find one with a rare mint error, it's like discovering a secret chapter that only a few get to read. Okay, before I lose you in all the technical details, let's recap. The 2060 penny can be worth $1 million if it has certain rare mint errors. Errors include double die obverse, missing mint marks, and misstrikes. Condition matters big time. Pristine coins are worth way more. Authentication by professionals is crucial before you get too excited. So, what's the takeaway from all this? If you have any pennies lying around, especially ones from the 2000s with AD mint mark, take a closer look. Don't just toss them or use them for your morning coffee. You might just have a little treasure hiding in your pocket. And hey, if you want to keep learning about coins that could change your life, tips on spotting valuable errors, and strategies to turn pocket change into serious cash, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join the community where we turn ordinary coins into extraordinary stories, and maybe even a bit of cash. Remember, every great collector started by finding that one special coin. Who knows? Your $1 million penny could be just around the corner. Thanks for hanging out today. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're hunting for the 2060 penny. I love hearing your stories. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1985 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yes, that little copper disc could be your ticket to a cool $1.2 million. I'm going to break down why this penny is such a big deal, how to spot one, what makes it so valuable, and of course, the story behind the mystery of no-mint mark pennies. Plus, I'll throw in some funny personal stories along the way, like the time I accidentally bought a box of pennies thinking they were just for fun, but turns out, well, I'll get to that later. So grab a snack, relax, and let's get you on the path to possibly discovering your own $1 million coin. Don't forget to stick around till the end for some tips on how to protect and sell your valuable coins like a pro. And hey, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more coin secrets coming your way. Alright, first things first. What's the big deal with the 1985 no-mint mark penny? Most pennies you see will either have a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia, sometimes even an S for San Francisco. But the no-mint mark penny is different. It's kind of like the ninja of pennies, sneaky, rare, and oh so valuable. The 1985 no-mint mark penny is unique because in that year, the Philadelphia Mint was supposed to put a P on their coins, but a small batch somehow slipped through the production lines without the mint mark. This tiny production glitch created a rare variant that collectors absolutely drool over. Imagine finding a modern penny that's basically a misprint rarity, worth over $1 million. It's wild. Now, before you start rummaging through your change jar like a detective on a crime scene, let me explain a bit more about mint marks. Mint marks are basically tiny letters stamped on coins to tell us where they were made. Most pennies from Philadelphia had a P mint mark starting in 1980, so seeing one without it from 1985 is highly unusual. First, grab a magnifying glass or your phone camera with zoom, because these details are microscopic. On the 1985 penny, look closely near the date on the front side. If you see the date clearly but no P mint mark next to it, congratulations, you may have a rare no mint mark penny. But beware, there are fakes out there, so always double check with a trusted coin expert or appraiser before getting too excited. What makes this coin worth $1.2 million? Rarity and demand, my friend. When you have a modern coin that's both rare and has a great condition, especially one with a cool story like this, collectors go nuts. They want the bragging rights, the thrill of owning a 1 in a million find. The 1985 no-mint mark penny is like the unicorn of modern pennies, and that drives the price sky high. Now here's a funny personal story. Once, a friend of mine gave me a jar full of pennies to sort through. I was just thinking, great, more pocket change. But after about an hour, I spotted a penny that looked a bit off. Zooming in with my phone, I noticed it didn't have a mint mark. Could it be? I rushed it to a coin shop, and guess what? It was a rare no-mint mark penny, not from 1985, but close enough to get me excited. I didn't make millions that day, but the thrill was priceless. Moral of the story: never underestimate the power of your pocket change. Moving on, it's important to talk about coin grading. Not all pennies are created equal. A 1985 no-mint mark penny in poor condition is worth nowhere near $1 million. Coin grading measures the condition, from poor to mint state, MS. The $1 million pennies are usually in pristine or near pristine condition, graded by professional organizations like PCGS or NGC. So if you find one, consider getting it graded before trying to sell it. This will maximize its value and prove authenticity. Also, if you're thinking, hey, why don't I just search all my pennies? That's a good plan. But keep in mind, these no-mint mark pennies are incredibly rare. The chances of finding one in your everyday change are slim, but hey, stranger things have happened. It's like hunting for a needle in a haystack, but that needle could be worth a fortune. And here's a quick fun fact for you: the Lincoln penny has been around since 1909 and has gone through lots of changes in design, metal composition, and mint marks. So finding any rare variant, especially from the modern era like 1985, is a big deal for collectors. If you want to go the extra mile, check out some coin forums or Facebook groups dedicated to penny collectors. You'd be surprised how many stories people share about crazy penny finds. It's a fun community and a great place to learn. Alright, so let's wrap this up. The 1985 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a modern-day treasure hiding in plain sight, worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million in perfect condition. It's rare, it's mysterious, and it's definitely worth checking your change for. Just be careful and get professional advice if you think you found one. If this video got you excited and itching to start hunting for valuable coins, smash that like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more insider tips and strategies on coins that could change your life. Also, drop a comment below if you've ever found a surprising coin or if you want me to cover any other rare pennies or coin stories. I love hearing your treasure hunt tales. Remember, every coin has a story, and maybe, just maybe, you're holding $1 million story right now. Keep your eyes sharp, your magnifying glass ready, and happy hunting! We're diving deep into why this humble penny is worth a whopping $1.3 million. That's right, $1.3 million. So buckle up, because this story is packed with surprises, a bit of history, some laughs, and hey, maybe a little inspiration for your own coin hunt. Ready? Let's get rolling. First off, let's set the scene. The 1981 penny, small, coppery, a classic Lincoln design on the front with the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Nothing flashy, right? But what's wild is that among the millions of these pennies minted, a rare group slipped out without the mint mark. No D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, just a plain old 1981. Mint marks are like tiny signatures telling you where the coin was made. No mint mark on a 1981 penny? That's like finding a slice of pizza without any toppings. Odd, unexpected, and maybe a sign something special's going on. You might wonder, how does a coin get no mint mark when it's supposed to? Well, sometimes mint workers make mistakes, or machinery malfunctions, leaving coins unmarked. These errors are like hidden Easter eggs in the coin world, and collectors go crazy over them. For the 1981 no mint mark penny, the lack of a mint mark is a super rare error. Only a handful escaped into circulation before anyone noticed, making these coins insanely valuable. And value in coin collecting often comes down to rarity, condition, and the story behind the coin. This penny ticks all those boxes. So, how did we get from a penny that costs 1 cent to a coin worth $1.3 million? It's a mix of rarity, demand, and hype. Coin collectors love rare coins because they're unique. Think of it like a misprinted stamp or a baseball card with a typo. Suddenly, it's a collector's holy grail. The 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny became legendary after a few surfaced and were verified authentic. Since there are so few, the market value shot through the roof. Plus, in the last few years, more people have started collecting coins as an investment, driving prices higher. Remember, the value isn't just what it looks like. it's what someone is willing to pay for it. And for this penny? People are willing to pay a lot. Okay, I know what you're thinking. How do I know if my pocket change has this $1 million penny? Spoiler, it's not easy. These coins require expert authentication because fakes are out there, and a fake can cost you a lot of headache. The key is looking for the absence of the mint mark on the obverse side, near Lincoln's shoulder. But remember, wear and tear can make it tricky. If you think you have one, take it to a professional coin grader or appraiser. And please don't send me your coins, I'm not certified. Now, let me share a funny little story. One time, a friend of mine found an old jar of coins in his attic. He dumped them on the table, and guess what? He was convinced he had found a rare coin that would make him rich overnight. Spoiler alert, it was just a regular penny, but it gave us a good laugh and a reminder. You never know what's hiding in your change until you look. That moment taught me two things. 1. Always check your pennies. And 2. Don't get your hopes up too high too fast. Unless you want to end up like my friend, dreaming of yachts but stuck with a lemonade stand. So there you have it. The 1981 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a tiny piece of history with a huge price tag, $1.3 million big. If you're into coin collecting, or just love the thrill of discovering hidden treasures, keep an eye out for these rare gems in your change. Before you go, if you want more tips on coins worth serious money, and insider strategies to spot rare finds, smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next treasure waiting just around the corner. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found a coin that made you feel like you hit the jackpot. I'd love to hear your stories. I'm about to blow your mind with a penny story so wild, it sounds like something out of a treasure hunting movie. But nope, it's real life, and it's about the 2008 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that could be worth a staggering $1.4 million. Yep, you've heard that right. One single penny, worth more than most cars, houses, or even some small islands. Now, before you rush to shake every pocket and couch cushion, let's take a deep dive into what makes this humble copper coin so insanely valuable, why it's a must-watch for any coin collector or casual treasure seeker, and most importantly, how you might just find one yourself someday. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be armed with insider knowledge, some laughs, and a few golden strategies on spotting and profiting from coins that could turn your life upside down, for the better, of course. Alright, grab a snack, maybe a magnifying glass, and let's get rolling. So, the 2008 Lincoln penny. It looks just like the pennies you've been using to buy gum or toss in the fountain for wishes, right? Well, yes and no. The vast majority of pennies made in 2008 have a mint mark, a tiny letter near Lincoln's bust that tells you where it was made, AD for Denver or AP for Philadelphia. But every once in a while, a batch was made with, wait for it, no mint mark at all. Sounds simple? That small absence of a letter turns a regular penny into a nearly priceless collectible. Because no mint mark pennies from 2008 were not officially supposed to exist. It's like finding a secret message in a bottle, except this bottle is made of copper and worth over $1 million. Imagine if you had one sitting in your wallet all this time. Talk about an oops moment. So, what exactly makes this 2008 no-mint mark penny worth a whopping $1.4 million? It's a mix of rarity, demand, and a little bit of mystery. First, rarity. Only a handful of these coins exist. Fewer than a few hundred are known to collectors. When something is that rare, collectors start fighting over it like it's the last slice of pizza at a party. Second, demand. The Lincoln penny is one of the most collected coins in the U.S. Combine that with the mystery surrounding the no-mint mark issue, and you've got collectors clamoring for these pennies. Third, condition. If your penny looks like it just came out of the mint, we call that MS-70. In coin speak, that's mint state 70, or flawless. The price skyrockets. There's also a story behind these pennies that adds value. They likely slipped through quality control at the Philadelphia Mint by accident, which makes them unofficial and highly sought after. It's like a secret handshake between collectors, a symbol of rarity and a chance for huge profits. How to spot a 2008 no-mint mark penny? Alright, here's the $1 million question. How do you spot one of these babies? I mean, pennies are tiny, and no mint mark means no letter. So it's basically a copper circle with Lincoln's face on it. Easy to miss, right? Normally, you'll see a tiny D or a P below the date on the right side. The 2008 no mint mark penny has nothing there. It should say 2008, obviously. The no mint mark pennies only appeared this year. If it looks worn out, it's probably worth just face value. But if it's shiny and flawless, that's when the magic starts. Don't rely on photos from eBay listings alone. Sometimes they're tricky. Use a magnifying glass or better yet, a jeweler's loupe if you can. If you're unsure, get it graded by a professional coin grading service. Trust me, having that official stamp of authenticity can add tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the value. My personal penny adventure now. Before you think I'm just a coin geek sitting in a dark basement staring at pennies all day, let me tell you about my own crazy penny story. A few years back, I was just doing what most people do, digging through a jar of change at home. I found a shiny penny that looked a little different. No mint mark. I thought, wait, that can't be right. I took it to a local coin shop. The guy's eyes went wide, and suddenly, I was the center of attention. Turns out, my penny was a 2008 no mint mark coin, and worth way more than I expected. Now, I'm not saying I struck it rich overnight, but that moment lit a fire in me. I started learning more about coins, values, and the market, and that's how this channel was born. So, if you're ever feeling bored digging through your change, remember, your next jackpot might be hiding right there. Market trends and what to expect. Okay, so you might be wondering, is the $1.4 million value set in stone? Nope. The coin market is a roller coaster. Prices can jump or dip depending on collectors' interests, market conditions, and how many coins surface. Sometimes, a single sale makes headlines and pushes prices up across the board. But one thing's for sure, rare coins like the 2008 no mint mark Lincoln penny have staying power. People love a good rarity story, and these pennies have the mystery, history, and wow factor that collectors crave. So if you find one or think you might, keep it safe, get it graded, and watch the market like a hawk. Tips on buying, selling, and protecting your penny investment. If you're thinking about jumping into the coin game, here are some quick tips. Only buy from reputable dealers or auction houses. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Professional grading protects you and increases value. Use acid-free holders or coin capsules. Keep coins away from moisture, sunlight, and careless hands. Follow auction results and coin news to know when to buy or sell. The incredible story behind the 2008 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth $1.4 million. From rarity and mystery to market trends in my own personal penny adventure, this little coin packs a punch way bigger than its size. If you ever find yourself staring at a 2008 penny with no mint mark, don't just toss it in your jar, treasure it. You might just be holding a small piece of history worth more than you ever imagined. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, share with your fellow treasure hunters, and don't forget to subscribe for more insider tips on coins that could change your life. Got any coin stories or questions? Drop them in the comments. I love hearing from you. Thanks for hanging out today. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled and your pockets jingling. Who knows what treasures you might find? I'm about to blow your mind with a penny story so wild, it might just make you dig through your old piggy banks tonight. Yep, we're talking about the legendary 1977 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. A tiny coin that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.50 million. Before you laugh and toss your pennies aside, stick around because this little copper disc has a story that's part mystery, part magic, and part pure luck. So buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. Alright, let's kick things off with a little history lesson, but don't worry, it won't be boring. The 1977 penny, minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark, looks just like the pennies you've probably seen a million times. Lincoln's profile on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Nothing too crazy, right? The 1977 D penny is famous because of a handful of rare error coins that collectors absolutely lose their minds over. We're talking double dies, off-center strikes, and sometimes weird metal compositions. These errors make some of these pennies insanely valuable. Some even sell for upwards of $1 million. Now you're probably wondering, why is this specific penny so valuable? Well, it's all about scarcity and condition. You see, millions of pennies were minted in 1977, but very few error coins have survived in pristine condition. If you find one in near-perfect shape with the rare error, you might have a little gold mine in your pocket. Speaking of which, the current market value for a rare, error 1977 penny can go as high as $1.5 million. Yep, I said million with an M. Now that's more than some houses go for. Let me tell you a funny story about how I almost threw away a penny that turned out to be worth a fortune. Years ago, I found a weird-looking 1977 penny in my couch cushions. It had some strange doubling on Lincoln's face, but I just thought it was dirty or scratched. I was about to toss it, but my coin collector friend made me check it out first. Turns out, it was a rare double die error, and now it's worth way more than I ever expected. Moral of the story: never underestimate your pennies. Now, you might be asking, how do you spot these rare 1977 error pennies? Great question. Here are some tips. Look for doubled images, especially on Lincoln's profile or the date. Check for off-center strikes where the design is shifted from the middle. Inspect the edges for any weird bumps or missing parts of the design. The coin should be in near-mint condition, no heavy scratches, corrosion, or dirt. If you find a penny that ticks these boxes, don't just toss it in a jar. Get it professionally graded and authenticated. The difference between a regular penny and a certified rare penny can be millions of dollars. Seriously, now, what about fake coins? Yep, the market has some fakes too. Scammers have tried to replicate the 1977 errors to cash in, so always buy or sell through trusted dealers or third-party grading services like PCGS or NGC. And if you're selling, always get multiple appraisals. Okay, so you might be thinking, how often do these rare pennies actually show up? Not often at all. In fact, less than a handful are confirmed to be out there in private collections or museums. That's why finding one is like hitting the coin collector's lottery. It's rare, valuable, and unbelievably exciting. Before we move on, here's a quick fun fact. Abraham Lincoln was the first U.S. president featured on a circulating coin, starting back in 1909 for his 100th birthday. So the pennies you're hunting are part of a really cool legacy. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I get started collecting or spotting these rare pennies? Here's my advice. Always keep an eye on your change. Seriously, check those pennies. Use a magnifying glass or a loupe to inspect details. Get familiar with common errors and mint marks. YouTube and coin forums are gold mines of info. Consider buying old coin lots from auctions or dealers to increase your chances of finding something rare. And most importantly, have fun. Collecting coins is like a treasure hunt where every find tells a story. Alright folks, that's the scoop on the amazing 1977 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and why some of these tiny coins are worth as much as a luxury car or a down payment on a house. Who would have thought a penny could pack that kind of punch? If you enjoyed this video and want more insider tips on spotting valuable coins, how to sell them for top dollar, and all things treasure hunting, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You don't want to miss out on the next big coin discovery. Trust me, I've got plenty more stories and secrets coming your way. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or had a crazy money discovery with your pocket change. I love hearing your stories. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1965 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin so rare and valuable it could change your life faster than you can say. Heads or tails? But before we jump into the nitty-gritty, make sure you stick around till the end because I'll share some insider tips on how to spot coins worth serious cash in your own collection. And hey, who knows, maybe your next lucky find is just a pocket away. Let's roll up those sleeves and get into the story behind this elusive penny that has collectors buzzing and investors drooling. First off, a quick history refresher. Abraham Lincoln's portrait has graced the penny since 1909. Making it one of the most iconic and enduring images on U.S. currency. By 1965, pennies had gone through various changes, But this particular coin stands out, not for its design, but because it's missing the mint mark. Now, you might be wondering, what's a mint mark? Great question. It's that tiny letter stamped on the coin that tells you where it was made. For pennies, you'll often see a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But the 1965 penny? No mint marks at all. That's actually normal for that year because the US Mint didn't put mint marks on coins from 1965 to 1967. So, why is this penny worth $1.6 million if it's just a regular no mint mark penny? Here's where things get interesting. While millions of 1965 no mint mark pennies were minted, the ones commanding millions are those with rare errors or exceptional condition. One of the most valuable varieties is the double die error penny from 1965, where the design elements look doubled, almost like a funky optical illusion. Collectors go nuts for these errors because they are freak accidents of minting history, and very few survived in top-notch condition. But even without the double die error, a flawless 1965 no mint mark penny in gem condition, meaning it looks brand new despite being decades old, can fetch prices in the seven figures. Why? Because top-grade coins that old are extremely hard to find, especially when millions were circulated and worn down. You might be sitting there thinking, come on, a penny for over $1 million? That sounds like a scam! But trust me, the coin market is a serious business, and rarity plus demand equals big bucks. Grading companies like PCGS and NGC inspect and certify coins based on their condition. A perfect 1965 no mint mark penny that scores a mint state 70 or similar grade is like the holy grail for collectors. The scarcity of such pristine coins combined with intense collector demand drives prices through the roof. Plus, the story behind each coin adds value. Some pennies come from famous collections, or were discovered in extraordinary ways, like hidden in old jars or forgotten in grandma's attic. That provenance can add thousands, if not millions, to the price. Okay, I get it, you're now eyeing every penny you've ever owned with suspicious excitement. But before you start thinking you've got a goldmine in your pocket, here are a few tips on how to identify one of these valuable pennies. No mint mark under the date. Remember, from 1965 to 1967, pennies didn't have mint marks. So if you see a D or S, it's not the no mint mark variety. Look for doubling in the lettering or numbers, especially around Liberty or the date itself. Use a magnifying glass because these errors are often tiny but make all the difference. The coin should be shiny with no scratches, dents, or discoloration. Coins that look like they've been through the laundry, or worse, aren't going to fetch millions. Professional grading. If you think you've got a winner, send it to a professional grading service. They're the coin world's version of a judge's panel, certifying your coin's authenticity and condition. So here's a funny little story. A friend of mine once found a bunch of pennies from the 60s in a drawer at his parents' house. Naturally, he wanted to check if any were valuable. He calls me up all hyped. Dude, I found a 1965 penny with no mint mark. Is it worth anything? I'm thinking, okay, exciting but probably not $1 million find. I asked him, is it shiny? Any weird doubling? We both laughed because while it was cool historically, it wasn't the rare gem. But that moment got me thinking about how easy it is for us everyday folks to overlook potential treasures in our own homes. So if you're ever digging through old coins, keep an eye out. You might just surprise yourself. Why collectors love the Lincoln penny. Collectors don't just love pennies for their value. They love the stories, the history, and the thrill of the hunt. The Lincoln penny tells a story of America's past, and each coin is a tiny snapshot of a year gone by. Whether it's a rare error or a pristine gem, these pennies hold a special place in numismatic hearts. And for those thinking about starting a collection, pennies are a great entry point. They're affordable, fun to find, and who knows? Your next 1965 no mint mark penny might be the one that makes headlines. Alright, treasure hunters, we've uncovered the mystery behind the 1965 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and why it can be worth a staggering $1.6 million. Whether it's the rare error coins, flawless condition, or just the sheer thrill of the find, These pennies prove that even the smallest things can hold the biggest fortunes. So, if you ever find yourself rifling through a jar of old change, give those pennies a little extra love. You might be sitting on a fortune you never knew you had. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more insider tips on how to spot valuable coins, grow your collection, or just have fun with money strategies at work, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. And hey, if you've got a coin story or a lucky find, drop it in the comments below. I love hearing about real treasure hunts, and who knows, maybe your story will inspire someone else. We dive in. Hit that like button like you just found a rare coin in your couch cushions. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to get the inside scoop on coin treasures, money-making tips, and maybe even how to spot your own $1 million coin hiding in plain sight. You're probably thinking, a penny from 1998? That's just a regular penny from my high school days. And honestly, most of them are. But every once in a while, the US Mint slips in a coin with a rare twist, a quirky error, or a super limited run that makes collectors go wild. The 1998 D penny isn't just any old Lincoln penny. It's a rare gem with a very specific story behind its mint mark and production quirks that make it insanely valuable. This isn't your typical coin that you find at the bottom of a purse or buried in a jar of coins from Grandma's house. This one is a legit $1 million contender. Point 2. The history and design of the Lincoln penny. First, let's rewind a bit. The Lincoln penny has been around since 1909, and Abraham Lincoln's face has been staring at us from the front ever since. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first US coin to feature a real person. Pretty cool, right? By 1998, the penny's design had evolved a bit. The reverse featured the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol many Americans instantly recognize. The mint mark, D, tells you it was minted in Denver, one of the main US mint facilities. Now, here's where the magic happens. Most 1998 pennies are worth, drumroll please, 1 cent. But the 1998 D penny that collectors crave has a very special error or a unique feature. And there are a few types of errors you might encounter, but the one worth millions is the ultra-rare double die or some type of minting anomaly that affected the D mint mark or the Lincoln design. Think of it like a printing typo in a book, except this typo is carved into metal and can fetch you a small fortune. People who find these coins in circulation are often blown away because most of us toss pennies without a second thought. The big value here comes down to rarity, demand, and condition. The 1998 D penny error is so rare that only a handful exist. Some experts say fewer than a dozen in the highest grades. When collectors and investors get wind of this, they're ready to drop serious cash. Plus, the coin's condition matters. If it looks like it survived the trenches of a junk drawer, it won't fetch the same price as one that looks like it was just minted yesterday. Mint state and proof versions, especially with clear, strong details, are where the big money is. Alright, let me get real for a second. I have a little confession. A few years back, I was visiting my grandma. She gave me a jar filled with old coins, mostly pennies and nickels. As I was sorting through them, I almost tossed a weird-looking 1998 penny in the trash because it looked dirty and scratched. Thank goodness I stopped and Googled it first. Turns out, it was a coin with a minting error, not the 1998 D penny worth $1 million, but enough to be worth over $1,000. That little scare made me realize how many valuable coins are just sitting unnoticed in jars, piggy banks, and even your car's cup holder. So here's the takeaway. Don't be quick to throw out or spend your pennies without checking first. You could be holding onto a gold mine. You don't need a magnifying glass from a CSI crime lab, but a basic loupe or a good phone camera can help. Check the mint mark, D, closely. Look for doubling or unusual spacing. Inspect Lincoln's face for doubled features or strange details. Look for any unusual textures or raised areas on the coin. Compare your penny to official photos from trusted coin grading sites. If you think you have a winner, get it graded by a professional like PCGS or NGC. They authenticate and grade the coin, which can seriously affect the price. Recent sales have shocked collectors and investors alike. Some 1998 D Lincoln pennies with rare errors have sold At auction for upwards of $1.7 million. That's right, you could trade in your entire car for a single coin, but remember, the market is a bit like a roller coaster. Prices fluctuate, and condition plus provenance, the coin's history, plays a huge role. Even if you don't find $1 million penny tomorrow, understanding coin values and spotting errors is a fantastic hobby. It's like treasure hunting without a map, and sometimes, the thrill of discovery is priceless. Plus, coin collecting teaches patience, history, and money smarts, all good things to have. Alright, coin adventurers, here's the final nugget of wisdom. That little 1998 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be a 1 in a million find. Literally. So the next time you get change at the grocery store, slow down and take a good look. You never know, your pocket change might just be the start of your millionaire story. If you like this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you never miss a coin tip, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or want me to cover a specific one. Remember, sometimes the smallest things can hold the biggest value, and that's the beauty of coin collecting. We're zooming in on one super special coin, the 1972 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, you heard that right. A penny. Not just any penny, but one that could be worth up to a whopping $1.8 million. Crazy, huh? Stick around because I'm about to spill the beans on why this humble copper cent might be sitting in your grandma's old jar of change or hiding in your couch cushions. And spoiler alert, it's not just about shiny metal. There's a story, some wild history, and of course, how you can spot one yourself without needing a PhD in coinology. So buckle up, because your spare change might just be the key to your next big adventure. Ready? Let's get into it. Alright, before we go full Sherlock Holmes on this penny, let's take a quick history lesson. The Abraham Lincoln penny was first introduced way back in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's face. Talk about breaking the mold. Since then, millions and millions of these pennies have been churned out by the U.S. Mint. So what makes the 1972 No Mint Mark penny so special? The No Mint Mark means it was made at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, normally, pennies have a tiny letter that tells you where they were made, like D for Denver, S for San Francisco. But in 1972, some pennies came out without any mint mark at all. Pretty common, right? So why would these be worth millions? You see, some of these 1972 no mint mark pennies have a rare, double die error. Basically, when the coin's design was stamped onto the blank metal disc, the die, which is like a stamp, accidentally hit the coin twice but slightly offset. The result? The letters and numbers look like they're doubled. It's like a printing glitch that makes the coin unique and highly collectible. Collectors go nuts for these double-die pennies because they're rare and a bit of a mystery. And the 1972 no mint mark double-die penny is one of the holy grails in the penny world. If you find one in near-perfect condition, you're potentially holding a gold mine, or well, a copper mine worth around $1.8 million today. Yeah, that's not a typo. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I spot one of these magical double-die pennies? Great question. Let me break it down. Step 1. Grab a magnifying glass or your phone camera zoomed in. Look closely at the date, the 1, 9, 7, and 2. If you see doubling, like the numbers are shadowed or doubled, that's a big clue. Also, check out the word, Liberty, on the front end. In God we trust. Those letters should look doubled too. It's subtle but unmistakable once you know what to look for. But wait, before you start hunting through every penny in your pocket, a word of caution. These double-die pennies are rare, and condition matters a lot. If your penny is rusty, scratched, or just plain beat up, its value plummets. We're talking about mint condition or close to it. A few years ago, I was at a family barbecue, digging through a jar of coins to pay for some snacks. Because hey, who carries cash anymore, right? I pulled out a 1972 penny with no mint mark and thought, this looks kinda different. So I whipped out my phone, zoomed in, and lo and behold, a slight doubling on the date. My heart skipped a beat. Was I holding $1 million penny? Turns out, after some expert confirmation, It was indeed a double-die penny, but unfortunately it wasn't in the best condition. Still, that little moment sparked my curiosity to dig deeper into coin collecting, and here we are. Okay, now for some coin collecting tips to keep your treasure hunt fun and fruitful. Always handle coins by the edges. Finger oils can ruin their condition. Store valuable coins in protective holders or cases. And most importantly, don't freak out if you find an error penny. Get it checked by a professional. Another interesting fact about the 1972 penny, aside from the double die error, it also had some slight variations in copper content compared to other years, which can sometimes affect the color and weight. Not a huge deal for casual collectors, but for pros, it's another layer of complexity. Before we wrap up, I want to talk about the market value and why it's so volatile. The $1.8 million figure is based on recent auction sales and top-tier grading. Remember, the coin market moves a lot depending on demand, rarity, and condition. Just because you see a number online doesn't mean every 1972 no-mint mark penny is worth millions. But hey, the dream is real, and that's what makes collecting exciting. That ordinary pennies might just be hiding extraordinary secrets. And the 1972 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny with the double die error is the ultimate example. If you're patient, curious, and a little bit lucky, your spare change could be worth way more than its face value. If you want to keep learning about amazing coins, rare finds, and how to spot those hidden treasures in your pocket, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next mind-blowing coin story or the tips that could help you cash in big. And if you've ever found a coin that made your heart race or turned your collection into a jackpot, drop a comment below. I love hearing your stories. Who knows, your find might inspire the next big video. Thanks for hanging out, keep hunting, and remember, sometimes, the smallest coin can hold the biggest fortune.